This your girl Tana Too Cute. Let's talk about Sistas Season 7 Episode 9. And it's titled Three's a Crowd. And it says Karen shares unexpected news that makes Zach happy. He's a little bit too happy, but causes a totally different reaction from Fatima. When we saw that, we gonna see that if you ain't seen it. And one of Gary's plans to sabotage Andy's backfires. Yeah, let's talk about it.
I feel good. Wait a minute. Who I knew that I would know. Wow.
All right, so let's get into this episode 9. Now, they are at the hospital. Of course, Karen just found out that she's having twins. So she comes out to the lobby area and shares this news with Zach. Now, Zach's reaction is a little bit too excited, a little bit too chipper, happy. I mean, you don't even know if these are your babies, but he was so excited. And this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Zach cannot separate the fact of how his childhood was and how he could be a difference, in his kids' life when he have kids. So I don't think he is connecting the dots that these may not be your babies. He's more so worried about or excited about the fact that these are his babies, but he's going to make a difference. He's not going to allow these kids or these babies to have the same childhood that he has. Now, that's just my take. I'm just saying. But yeah, he was a little bit too excited. He giving Karen a hug. He talking about they gonna have a little Zachy and a Zachisha. I mean, just a little bit too much. Fatima walks in like, what's all the excitement about? What's going on? She don't look too happy about it. You know, biting the inside of her jaw. Don't we do that? So Zach shares, he like, tell her what's going on. Show her what's going on. That they're having twins. And Fatima's like, oh, okay. Like, do I supposed to be getting excited about this? No, you adding more drama, more pressure to the plate that we already have. One of my Cuties subscribers, was like, they said something very profound, that Zach really hasn't added anything to Fatima's life. However, Fatima has added so much more to Zach's life. What do y'all think about that? Y'all agree with that? But Fatima, was over it. She left real quick up out of there because Zach was a little bit too happy. He wasn't really considering her feelings. So she did share that with him. A little later, he was like acting dumbfounded. Like, why did you leave the hospital, so in such a rush? I left because you was having family night out with your girl, Yeah, y'all having family day. You was excited. You wasn't considering my feelings. You don't even know if these your babies, Zach. And I would like for you to take my feelings into account. Threw her hands up. I need a minute. And I don't blame her. I would have needed a minute to go somewhere, let this process, or don't let it process, but just take a minute to myself. Then we get to Andy and Penelope. So Andy is sharing what information she found on Gary. So she's telling Penelope, you need to get as far away from Gary as you possibly can. She shares some details about what she found, and the one detail that she did share is that when they was in high school, they went to the high school prom. Gary went to a high school prom with his girlfriend. They got into an argument, and the girlfriend was never to be found. Gary, wasn't charged in that because He said they got into an argument and they didn't find the body. Everybody, back then or whatever, speculated, had suspicion that Gary had something to do with her disappearance. So she's sharing all this with Penelope, and Penelope looking like, what have I got myself into? Yeah, everybody got, by Gary. He's a con artist. And, sometimes good looks are deceiving. So if you don't have, that discernment to decipher, that type of con, then you can get got. I mean, we're not perfect, and that's just what happened. So Andy, tells her, she has somebody that can actually make her disappear where he would never find her. But Penelope, she goes right to Gary and say, who is this girl? I can't even think of the girl's name. The girl that he went to prom with that came up missing. Andy didn't tell you to go to Gary with the stuff. She said, get packed and go. So now Gary know that Andy didn't, pretty much dug some information up on him, and that's part of it as well. So he's gonna really flip out, once all this unfolds. Rolling on back over to Karen, she called up the sisters and let them know that, hey, I need to speak to all of you at my crib, because she want to share the news. Now, this is the first time it may not be the first time, but this is the first time I've really seen Karen proactively calling the girls to her house to share some information, because usually she's just tiptoeing around the information and they have to dig and search for the information. But she wanted to share that. And why is she so much happier that she's having twins, whereas she was not as happy when you were just having one? You were complaining about different things, but now that you're having twins, your whole attitude seems to be different to me. What do y'all think? She even wanted to share the information with her mom. So back at the shop, she, called her mom to meet her up at the shop, and she told Miss Lisa, and she was excited when she told Miss Lisa too. Miss Lisa seemed to be happy too, but I did sense some hesitation with Miss Lisa when she told her. But we'll just see, how this unfolds. Rolling on back over here to Gary. Now, he wants to destroy Andy by any means necessary. So that means destroying anything attached to Andy, like Jordan. So when Gary got word that Andy was going to be representing this big billionaire mogul, he knew her from past work interactions. So he basically was telling her she don't want to get involved with Andy because she is, she don't have good work ethic. She's promiscuous. She even, came on to him when she was representing him with his divorce with his first wife, or his wife, and she had to correct him. But this mogul, she saw right through Gary and knew that Gary was just bitter and looking for some sort of revenge. So that did not work. I guess that he was hoping that he can pull this case from Andy, and maybe Hayden would get it. We don't know, but I think he's studying Hayden at this point. I believe everything is all about what Gary wants. But she saw right through him, and she wasn't falling for it. A real quick highlight, Maurice, popped up in the episode with his newfound love, or soon to be love. And this guy, I guess he met through his OnlyFans new activity. But that guy no longer does that, and he's looking for a long-term relationship with Maurice. I was surprised to see Maurice so quickly, wanting to, change, what he was doing for this guy that he just met. Now, Maurice, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Now, you just got over this situation with the other guy, Q, and he said he was going to stop maybe doing his OnlyFans and, hoping that he get his job back at the bank. So he got about 6 months of savings. So you're gonna, go through your savings, until you get your job back. And that's if you get your job back for this guy that you just met. I don't know. Is Maurice gonna fall back into the same patterns, same behaviors? What do y'all think about that? Moving on to Danny and Sabrina, Tony, and Rich. They went on a double date. And really the highlight for me in this episode, in this scene, was that Tony and Sabrina have more in common as it relates to kids. They took over the conversation with the kids, talking about the kids, sharing things about kids. And you could see Danny and Rich, like, they were pretty much over that conversation. So Rich busts out and he was like, well, Danny, how did your day go? So it was a point in the conversation where, hey, Rich was like, look, we're not interested in talking about the kids. Let's keep this thing vibing. And Sabrina acknowledged that, and they soon got back on track with the conversation. But I think it's cute that they go on double dates. Danny is in a good headspace right now. We can see coming up in the next couple of episodes, she's going to be working on the relationship with Tony Keys. We'll see how that's going to go. Sabrina looks extremely happy, y'all, and I'm happy for her. I just wish her and Rich was on the same page with what they wanted long term. And one of the last highlights is Zach and Fatima. After she came back from taking a minute, they did have a conversation. She was able to articulate to Zach how she was feeling. He listened, he understood, and he apologized for not listening to her, not considering her feelings, and he won't do it again. And it goes back to my point. I just don't think he's intentionally doing it, because he's so wrapped up in a kid or a baby not having the same childhood that he had. And the last highlight is Gary. So Gary was back at the office. He was sharing with his assistant that, things didn't work out with the billionaire mogul. I can't think of these people's name when I'm actually recording. But he was sharing that wasn't going to work out. They got to find a different route. Then they was looking at the news, and he learned that Jordan, was, cleared from this fabricated lie story that Gary then concocted. So whoever that girl was that they paid to lie, she came forward and said that she lied. So this is what we saw in the preview, where Gary was saying she gotta go. I was initially thinking he talking about Penelope. No, he talking about this girl that they paid to lie on Jordan. So now they thinking about taking her out. Gary, you going too far now. You're going too far, Gary. Now, I don't know what's wrong with you and what is the problem. What Andy got over you that's making you crazy? I don't know. Is it the booger sugar got you crazy like that? I don't know, but he is losing it, y'all. But those are all the highlights that I have for this episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I love reading your perspectives on the episodes. But anywho, y'all like up this video, hit subscribe, and look, y'all have a good day on purpose. Bye.